One of our signature programs this year in Rotary, and actually we've been doing it for 2 years, is Flags for Heroes. And I'm going to ask our lead person on that project, Greg Meyer, to come up and tell you about the program.
Hi everybody, I probably don't need a microphone, do I? So this year what we've done is we did hear loud and clear that the cost to donate for the flags was a little too high. We also have had some difficulties in finding sponsorships for our Veterans Day display. So we now have two. We have one right outside here thanks to the Revere family for allowing us to use the corner here, which actually last year created a whole lot of excitement around it. We were on Facebook, we were on all the different social medias. We had so many people come by and just pay their respects, give donations on the spot. We even sponsored almost half of the flags just from that display alone. The other display we're doing down for Veterans Day, which is actually what started the whole thing, by Christ Church. And we've got a lot of folks that pilgrim into our county to go to Puller's grave. And so it was a great opportunity. We had motorcycle gangs that have come up and they pull in their motorcycles and they want to take pictures. I call them gangs. They like me to call them doctors, lawyers, and so they are too, which is hilarious. But we had the runners come before we actually had the display up, so we're a little disappointed. We're going to get better about it. But we need some support from the county. One of the things that we've thought about, and we were actually kind of pushed forward on, which was we don't have a county display or an event for Memorial Day. And so there's some different things that go on. Obviously there's parties and there's different events, but we don't have something like that. So I'm putting out the word now to you to help us think about what we could do as part of that day. I've actually thought about, we've had two people volunteer to play taps. It would be a great thing for us to do on a daily basis while we have the display up. I've talked to the Boy Scouts Honor Guard. I'm sure there's some folks here that might even want to speak if we can get a gathering and so on. But start thinking about what we could do as part of that display because it's very powerful and people really respected it. And so we've even had this agreement that even without sponsorship, from this point forward, we have 150 flags. We'll display them for as long as we can and they look respectful, regardless of sponsorship. So thank you, everybody. And $50 for both displays, $30 for one. So that's what we've decided on for the price this year. So, and all of the donations go to our Middlesex Charitable Foundation, which those of you that have been following us, there's an endless list. I'm sure we have a list that covers that. So, I do have a table set up for it. So I've got forms to fill out if you want to sponsor a flag now. By all means, come by and talk it up, and by all means, drop us an email. We'd love to talk to you.
All right, we also have a 50-50 tonight. If you haven't bought your tickets yet, please see one of our ticket sellers. If you raise your hand, Sissy is selling tickets. Anybody else want 50-50? Half of that obviously will go to the winner. The other half will go to the Middlesex Rotary Charitable Foundation. And we also have a second prize donated by Bird's Hardware. It is a bird feeder and bags. Yeah. And I wouldn't be a good Rotarian if I did not pitch membership for Rotary. It's a wonderful organization, and I would encourage all of you to come and visit us. At your table, there are cards for a free breakfast. We meet every Tuesday at the Pilot House. We would love to have you come and visit us.
We'll proceed here with that. I'd ask you to bow your heads if you would, please. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather for this special event, we ask your blessing on all those individuals and organizations who give of their time, talents, and resources to serve others for the betterment of life in our community. They reflect the motto of Rotary, which is service above self. This evening we are thankful for the opportunity to recognize and honor Carlton Revere for the many, many good things he has done for our Middlesex community. and the many endeavors he has fostered and helped develop to benefit many others beyond our community. We ask your blessing on this event and all in attendance. We give thanks for those who have planned and prepared for this event, and for the hands that have prepared this evening's meal with a special care to help make this celebration a distinct and memorable event. We give thanks for the fellowship we share together here tonight as we honor Carlton. Dear Lord, we ask you these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Let's have dinner.
They've had me now emceeing this. This is my third year. It's actually our 20th year that we've had a Pride of Middlesex. And I think we all agree, because we're here, what a great event. This is about... This celebration isn't exclusively about Rotary, for sure. It's about community. It's about small town, rural community. It's about how we come together in a way that is so unique that people like me choose to live here. I grew up in a rural community, and I really just have a profound love for my own little tradition as the MC. I step out into the parking lot and I look at what 150 some vehicles looks like in Middlesex County. We don't come together in those kind of numbers all that often. Only 3% of the counties here right now. No, really. But isn't it something that we have this tradition that's based in philanthropic groups like Rotary. We've got so many of our friends from Kiwanis, Lions. We're all doing the same things. We all agree on a number of things. And one of them is that there are people that tend to rise above and just do more than what seems humanly possible for our small community. And tonight we're celebrating somebody that really exemplifies that in Carlton Revere. I will say this, I met with Carlton when I was considering running for the Board of Supervisors. He did a terrible job of convincing me not to run. And so I temper my comments as a result. But in all seriousness, this is 20 years we've been doing this, and all of you folks have seen it wise to come out and join us as your Rotary Club in really celebrating what it is to be a small community. We don't always agree on everything, but we do come together in a way that I take a lot of pride in. You know, when I'm raising my children, I talk about community. I talk about the importance of giving back. And so tonight, we're really honoring somebody that does it better than almost anybody. In fact, when we go through the Pride of Middlesex preparations, one of the first things we do is we have nominees. And a lot of times, you'll have 5 or 6 or 8 nominees. And this year we had a number of nominees. And not to denigrate any of the other nominees, but we were fairly quickly into the process of, okay, now we have to actually work on venue and tables and seating. The choice made itself, is what I'm saying. This one was easy. And so, with no further ado, if I understand the schedule correctly here, we're going to have a couple folks that are near and dear to Carlton and his family. And when you talk about the Revere family, you do realize you're talking about roughly a third of the county. And I've also noticed now that my son's playing baseball, he came to me this year and he said, Dad, I want to play baseball. And I thought, okay, I loved baseball as a kid. Well, another third is the Fleet family, and I've got Matthew Fleet in the audience. He's coaching my son, and we're having a blast playing baseball here in rural Virginia. Family style dinner, check. Remarks from last year that I don't need. Yeah, I think we're ready to invite Peter Tribble to join us up here. Do better than I do, Peter, and tell us your thoughts on Carlton and why he is this year's Pride of Middlesex. Thank you.
I was contacted to talk about Carlton, who is one of the most lovely individuals that I've ever had the honor of knowing. And kind of going through my life with him, especially our early life, that was apparently the emphasis that I was supposed to give to all of you. Many of you know Carlton for all of his wonderful, and his family, of course, for all of his accomplishments, his family, his beautiful wife, his children, his lovely mother, of course, his father and grandfather, and all the other Reveres. All the things that he's done in this community, was certainly outlined on the Rotary website about his involvement with certainly the Board of Supervisors, the Water Authority, as far as, we spent a lot of time in Essex and lived in Richmond County, so I was unsure of whether he had brought water to Middlesex County. But in reflecting back on years and years ago about things about Carlton that kind of correlate to now, I've come up with some things that I thought were really interesting that everyone would like to know. And then I come in here today and I see his children here, which is a little disturbing because of some of the adventures we've had. But more importantly, Michael Hurd is here, and he's the Commonwealth's attorney. But then I realized that those statutes of limitations were gone. So I'll kind of give a caveat to my comments is that this is all a work of fiction. So I met Carlton at Virginia Episcopal School. He and I, he was a sophomore when I came there. I was a junior. I was a wayward Lee Davis student from Mechanicsville. I'd been sent to Lynchburg. And I met Carlton. He and I lived on the same hall in Randolph dorm. And this is back in the long time ago, in the late 80s. But of course at that time, nothing had been done to the facilities probably for 30 or 40 years. So we had no air conditioning, and, But what was interesting was Carlton had a roommate who didn't show up that year, and didn't return. So he got placed with a senior, and I too, being a new student, got placed with a senior. Now, if you think about that, it's really not a good thing, because if you're a senior in boarding school and you don't have your roommate picked out, then you've probably got some problems. Carlton's roommate was a very interesting character, very low-key. He liked music, he did his work, but he was actually the only person I think I've ever, and I'm a criminal defense attorney, mind you, the only person I've ever seen who was actually addicted to marijuana. Now, which was actually better than my roommate, who was the first introduction I had to a true masochist individual. He enjoyed, he was on the wrestling team, and he would enjoy pinning people and then not letting them out, even after you're crying. And Carlton would come and save me and say, "Hey man, you gotta leave him alone." So, one day, apparently his roommate ran out of marijuana. And he was going around asking people for marijuana. And we're like, "I don't have any weed, sorry." And Carl's like, "Oh, whatever." So this guy ends up, I'm sitting in English class, and he comes running through the hall screaming and crying and lost his mind. His parents picked him up and said he went away. So Carlton had his own room. So I spent a lot of time in Carlton's room because I was avoiding my roommate who was, waiting and laying in wait for me. He and I would commiserate, late nights in the bathroom smoking cigarettes and burning cockroaches. The facilities were pretty run down. So nonetheless, my roommate ended up stabbing me in the toe with a pencil. And at that point, Carlton extended his hand of friendship and said, "Please come live in my room." I said, "Thank God." So I moved in with Carlton, and he and I had a great time. Actually, I didn't see you much because I was sent away to a study hall. You were in your room studying, but anyway, Carlton was a wonderful roommate. He could be a little volatile at times. But for the most part, he was pretty good. Now, there was one incident that I think I knocked over his dip cup. which, you know, a dip cup is where you spit in the cup, chew in the bag. And he got it very top. I think I knocked it over his chair, but nonetheless, he took an entire can of cocktail peanuts and dumped it all on my bed. And I'm talking about the greasy kind. Really bad. So to get him back, I wouldn't respond. I just said, hey, this is awesome. I got all these snacks in my bed. Laid in my bed. I proceeded to eat the peanuts for the next couple of weeks. And I was thinking about Carlton, what he's done, what he's accomplished, and I think about, you know, in reflection, were there other, you know, those characteristics in the past? And I came up with a few things. You know, Carlton is a natural salesman. I mean, he's very good at working with people. He's done so for Revere Gas and certainly done so for Middlesex County. He's a bridge maker. He can connect different people and bring them together to the table, and he's a good negotiator. And that's clearly from all the accomplishments leading up to what Revere Gas has done. But now I look back and I think about, for example, a salesman. Now, Carlton, when I first met him, he also had an alter ego. I don't know who this alter ego was, but at 15 years of age, he was also a citizen of the state of Montana. He was 21 years of age. Now, at 15 years of age, you know, in Lynchburg, of all places, you know, he was fairly known in the community and made a number of businesses. And also, I think there's some little Sues around here that also knew him as from Montana. Yeah, this is all work fiction. I think about, and I think you used that idea up until you were 12. You know, a bridge maker. I think back to a time where Carlton and I went to go see AC/DC in Richmond, Virginia. And we go to the Richmond Coliseum in our polo shirts and our khaki pants. And we're having a great time. And Carlton, I noticed, is hanging out. And there's this kind of group of guys near us, and they're kind of rough looking and bearded. And, you know, Carlton's like talking to one of them, and he gives them a lighter. And I think we had brought in a bottle of Jack Daniels or something as well, and we're sharing it with them as well. Well, it turned out to be the Pagan Motorcycle Band. Which I was thinking about Greg. Where's Greg here? Maybe the Pagans will come and look at the corner here of the flag. But Carlton was, we became good friends with the Pagans there in the ACD concert. And Carlton facilitated all that. But then I think about another time, where he's an excellent negotiator. So we decided to go see the Grateful Dead in Washington, D.C. So anyway, we got out of tie-dye shirts and all that stuff. We go there to the Grateful Dead and have a good old time, hanging out and drinking lots of Coca-Cola. Yeah. And so a lot of helium balloons were there. We inhaled. Anyway, so we get back. We just realized at the end of the concert we don't have a ride back from there. So Carlton, being the leader he was, took our group. We figured out a way, and he hailed a cab. However, he hailed a cab on the interstate. And we head back to our hotel. Well, unbeknownst to us, it was also the first time in the Western Hemisphere that some offshoot of the Greek Orthodox Church had come. So there were all these men, pillbox hats and beards and robes, and President Bush was at the hotel as well. So we had a lot of Secret Service there. So here we come rolling in with everybody in their formal gear and the Secret Service, and Carlton successfully got us through all that and got us to our room where we all crawled into a fetal ball. Thank God. But those aspects of Carlton where, you look back and you go, well, here is a young boy in his teens who's successfully able to offer himself and sell himself as a man from Montana who's 21 years of age. You know, he can bridge the gap between preppies and pagans, and sweet talk our way through the Secret Service after a Grateful Dead concert. And there's somebody like that, in retrospect, you know, has great leadership abilities, and great abilities to do great things in the world. So, with that said, you know, I would offer a toast. I don't have my glass to Carlton. I'll have my fake glass here. It's part of my fiction. Carlton, may you always have propane to keep you warm. May you always have the spirit of a Montana cowboy. I hope there are always ample peanuts in your bed to snack.
Getting back, I was in the back looking for a hook to try to save Carlton. I learned that I have a lot more in common with Carlton than I thought. Grateful Dead. Peanuts in bed. Peter, thank you. That's exactly what this banquet is about. And you know, I was reading the program, and I also realized another thing I have in common with Carlton is we're both spiders. University of Richmond, the strongest school in the Commonwealth. In fact, when I was there in '97, our basketball team beat UVA. Anyway, enough about me and the spiders. I mean, they're really more about academia than sports, and it's always been that way. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, John Ira Fleet.
Just a word of background. Carlton's grandfather, H.L., my grandfather, John Sr., Doc as some people call him, were closest of friends. Carlton's dad, Charlie, and my dad were closest of friends. I'm honored to say, and blessed beyond measure, to say that the same applies to us. So, with a tough act to follow, about Carlton's salesmanship and powers of influence, one story that comes to mind, and this also is outside statute of limitations, I'm pretty sure. Myrtle Beach, 1990 and 92, I think it was the 1990 edition. And he was visiting from Montana, right, across 2 time zones, all the way from the mountain time zone. One of our tribe became ill and was, fortunately for some folks on the pool deck, kind of close to the railing on the balcony. I, with the condo in my name, as it turned out, was on the beach when this happened. And on the way back to the elevator area, I was tipped off that there was some drama unfolding in 1407. By the time I got there, and I kind of took my time getting up there, the drama had subsided, everything. You'd never have known anything transpired. As it was told to me by, I think, John Harris and Daniel Price and Pete Coberly, Carlton and Pete was, right there on the deck with Carlton in just short order when it was obvious what had happened. Told everyone that we were cleaning off bird poop, and that was the ticket. Going back 22 years, March of '97, when Carlton got some sense and asked Dawn to marry him. Well, when he married her, she married him. What I shared as part of the toast that evening, I'm going to repeat. I once committed it to memory, but I'm going to not take a chance of stumbling with it, and it goes as follows. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. The footnote to that, just borrowed from Yeats, I think it goes something like, you think where our glory most begins and ends, and I say where our glory was, we had such friends. I don't have a goblet to raise, so it's a virtual goblet, if you would. Hear, hear.
So, with no further ado, and because I have no other Teddy Roosevelt quotes, Carlton, would you join me up here as we present to you the award for Pride of Middlesex. Thank you for this recognition. It is very humbling to be chosen, especially when it comes from your community. So to the Rotary, thank you for continuing to have this event, because there are many more deserving future recipients of this positive highlight. I had a friend tell me, you know you've really made it when you have your picture in the post office. So thank you. You know, it's a true honor to be added to the roll of previous honorees, and no doubt with my grandfather and father being recognized, it makes it very special. But unfortunately, we just lost one of the previous honorees and fellow Rotarian. The Reverend Chauncey Mann just passed away. He was a community and spiritual leader in Middlesex, and there will be only one Chauncey, and he will be greatly missed by the Middlesex community. When Dr. Crowther, Sissy, approached me in November about this recognition, and if I would accept it, I asked for a couple days, because at that time I was not feeling very prideful. In fact, I was going to say no, or no thank you. But my bride encouraged me to accept it graciously, and I told her I would. But you see, at that time, my family had just gone through several months of pretty emotional discussion and the decision to sell our 76-year-old family business. And in November, we were in the final details of the purchase agreement, so there was an added level of stress, to say the least. And I was not feeling very good about anything. You see, I knew this process was going to be disruptive to our family, to our employees, and to our customers. In spite of it being the right time and the right thing to do, it was going to be disruptive. Things were going to change. Change is disruptive. In spite of the planning, the due diligence, the assumptions, the sacrifices, there was going to be change. And it was extremely stressful to have all of those business secrets that you couldn't share just because of the timing of different events. Secrets are stressful. But again, fortunately, I listened to my wife for once, and I accepted. However, it wasn't long before I had another bout of inadequacy. In January, we lost Kevin Wade of J&W Seafood. Kevin was, and his wife Susan continues to be, strong philanthropists in our community. And Kevin was especially engaged in promoting the seafood industry and Deltaville. There was never an ask that Kevin would say no to, whether it be monetary support, seafood, manpower. He was there. I miss him, and I miss his, don't mess with me, I can do anything attitude. And furthermore, today, we lost another community pillar, Roger Hopper,
attorney from Urbana and Saluda, passed away. He will be remembered as one of the premier legal minds of our community. His opinions and briefs litter the halls of legal community, and he'll be missed. So I ask you to keep his wife Helen and his 4 sons and their family in your prayers tonight. One of the nice things about being an honoree is I get to choose the topic on which I get to speak. And I know you all want to hear more about me, so I've prepared a 100-deck slide PowerPoint. I don't want anybody falling asleep. So. There are many worthy causes in our community, and I just want to highlight 2 of them. And it's going to leave a lot of them short because we're all all committed to different philanthropies in this county and abroad. Gloucester, I think. I'm looking at my friend Clayton James. He's the president of the Roswell Foundation. That is sometimes a foreign country. Bina, definitely. The first group that I want to recognize is the River Counties Community Foundation. And they've gotten a couple tables here, and thank you for all that you all a couple tidbits about that organization, because I'm gracious enough to be on that board and I've learned more about it, but real quick, it is an affiliate organization of the Community Foundation in Richmond. It's a 501c3. Margaret Nost and Brian Jenkins run the shop, and they're actually in a new office in downtown Whitestone. It's a great group of people. I serve on that board with some other by the way, River Counties, what does that stand for? It's Lancaster, Northumberland, and Middlesex. So, fortunately or unfortunately, that river creates, if nothing else, a huge psychological barrier. And so we don't affiliate ourselves necessarily with the Northern Neck all the time. And Northern Neck probably doesn't affiliate themselves with Middlesex all the time, or the Middle Peninsula, but we're all connected, and that's just the way the organizational cookie crumbles. But a shout out to my other fellow Middlesex River Counties Community Board Foundation members, Carolyn Schmallenberger, Jerry Suis, who I know is here, Wayne Jesse, who I know is not here, Carlton, and Beth Hurd. So the mission of the board is to connect people who care with causes that matter, providing superior stewardship for our donors, and creating a better quality of life forever. And you accomplish this, and we accomplish this by, I should have used a bigger font, encouraging philanthropy by making it simple, flexible, and cost-effective, ensuring that charitable intent of donors will be met in perpetuity, and serving as effective stewards of our philanthropic assets. The board ensures that monies that are raised locally are granted locally, and ensure that specific donor requests are upheld by administering over 60 specific funds at a very, very low cost ratio. The foundation also administers many scholarships for area's kids. River County's Community Foundation directed over $1 million in 2018 to those 3 counties. A large portion of that money came to Middlesex. Middlesex recipients are and have been Hands Across Middlesex, Middlesex Habitat for Humanity, Middlesex YMCA, Middlesex County Schools, Middlesex Social Services, the Middlesex Foundation, Middlesex County Public Library, Deltaville Maritime Museum, Middlesex Water Authority, Northern Neck Middlesex Care Clinic. And I've probably left off 1 or 2 things, so I apologize. Middlesex is especially fortunate to also be the recipient of the Martha Henna Harris Fund. Ms. Harris was a resident of Urbana and passed away in 2013, but created a fund to benefit Richmond and Richmond City and Middlesex County. And from Mrs. Harris's generosity, Middlesex receives over $350,000 annually. And since 2013, Middlesex has received over $1 million from that gift. Pretty significant. Over the past 2 years, the foundation and the board spent time meeting with community leaders and groups to ensure that we were directing these funds strategically. This assessment is ongoing, but the current focus items are promoting self-sufficiency and economic stability, K-12 education, and access to health and wellness resources. I'm proud to be working with such a great board and staff, and encourage everyone to consider this foundation in your annual giving. They don't all have to be Martha Harris gifts, but we'll certainly accept them. One thing about it, the board, and it is very much the attitude, together we do more good. And that's definitely the attitude about the group there. So I want to highlight that group. The second group I want to highlight is the one I chose to receive a grant from the Rotary due to the funds raised by all of you generous people here tonight. And that is Hands Across Middlesex. A little history on Hands, and if somebody's with the Hands organization, and if I mess that up, you're more than welcome to stand up and correct me. You may get shouted down by the fact you're making the program go longer. The 501c3 was created in 1992 when leaders from area churches saw that one organization was a better way to support all the individual things that each church was doing. Now based in the Crier Center near Harmony Grove, thousands of our local citizens are touched annually by good work of the current president, Kyle Jenkins, and all his volunteers. Hands focuses on emergency home repairs, wheelchair ramp installation, providing clothing and appliances and furniture to its clients, administering its Backpack Buddy program, which provides weekend meals to students, flu shots, tax preparation, and one of the biggest endeavors right now is the food pantry and the mobile food bank. All of these efforts requires volunteers and funds. The crew at Hands stand ready to receive both of them. So get out there and lend a hand to Hands. And as one of my former members of the Community Foundation said, give till it hurts. Give till it hurts. Pete and John, obviously I did not pay you all enough. I'll see if I... Too late now, the leverage is gone. But thank you for your kind words. I appreciate your friendship, and next time I'll get your wives to write their comments for me. But finally, I'm very, very thankful for this honor. And all of you all my friends, thank you for coming and spending your time and sharing the evening with us. My family is very grateful, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Let's reflect on just what happened here. First off, I'd like to have your empathy. I volunteered to follow Carlton Revere. Does that make any sense? No. He is a difficult one. Just can't be done. Carlton, thank you for allowing us to honor you this evening. Because what you do and what you've done, you've given this county wonderful opportunity. We're going to blame you for this evening. You, to see what good deeds cause. Carlton Middlesex County Rotary Club and all who are here tonight, and the rest of Middlesex County and its community that we could not pack in here, congratulate you for your many accomplishments. We thank you and your family for the many successful endeavors and you and your family's contributions to our community. We owe you a debt of gratitude, and we all look forward to your further guidance and leadership. Carlton, we're all pleased to recognize you as Pride of Middlesex, because you truly are. Please stand and celebrate. And while you are standing, if you will please bow your head. Let us depart in peace and in love and charity with our neighbors. May we be joined together in the common goal of service to our God and to our country and to our community. Let us drive safely and carefully to our homes, and may God's blessing be with us all. Amen.
All right, for the wrap up, I'm going to go off script for 2 items. One, the tremendous bartender team thanks you for tipping the bartenders. We're going to add that high to Carlton's chosen charity and help them out a little bit more. And if you haven't had a chance to tip the bartender, the bucket's still back there in the bar. And second, one of our donors didn't make the program, and that was Organic Green Landscaping here in Middlesex County, a great group that works with a lot of us in our yards, and I'd like to recognize them. I've been asked to close this dinner honoring Carlton by leading the recitation of Rotary's 4-way test. You can find it on the back of your program, and in a moment I'm going to ask you to be part of that recitation. But before we do, let's talk about why it exists. Why is it important to us as Rotarians, individually and as a club? Why do we close each one of our meetings with a statement of these challenges? You've likely heard the word of values before. It denotes something of value to the owner, something held near and dear, something that transcends all other aspects of an organization, a profession, or even service clubs. Most company and organizations have such values statements, and the good ones often refer to them frequently when speaking to their customers or their employees, as it gives guidance on behavior or points for their evaluation of actions. The Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts have value statements. They're referred to as the Boy Scout and Girl Scout laws, and I imagine many people in this room have repeated them time and time again as members of these groups. Margaret and my 2 sons work at very large companies which very prominently display and discuss their values for employees to use as benchmarks for performance. Walmart says to employees, guided by the good, service to the customer, respect for the individual, strive for excellence, and act with integrity. General Electric says one must respect the 3 traditions of GE: unyielding integrity, commitment to performance, and thirst for change. My career was in healthcare. Physicians, before they're allowed to practice, have to swear by the Hippocratic Oath, promising to uphold specific values of their profession. This original oath dates back between 3rd and 5th centuries BC, and it's the earliest expression of medical ethics. It established several key principles that are still vital today, including medical confidentiality and the concept of first doctor, do no harm. Our YMCA, this event's honoree last year, has values, and I really like their simplicity. They are respect, responsibility, honesty, and caring. What a wonderful world it would be if all our religious, governmental, and business leaders would follow these critical guideposts. Rotary's values are called tests. There are 4 of them. We use them to check our own personal behavior and that of our club. Rotary was founded in 1905, but it didn't adopt its value statements until 1943. It's an interesting story of how it happened. They were originally written by a Rotarian, but he had been hired to turn around a bankrupt company. He found it necessary to give clear guidance to his employees on how they should act, how they should conduct affairs of the company, and how they should behave with customers. To achieve what he wanted, he wrote the 4-way test. Well, the rest is history. The company is very successful even today, and Rotary's adopted that same code to guide itself in its behavior. So in closing, please join me in reciting the 4-way test, which is found on the back of your program. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build friendships, Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much to our sponsors. Thank you to all of you for attending to make tonight successful. Congratulations to Carlton and his family. Now that you know all the secrets, guys. I wish you good night and Godspeed as you go home.